Okay.
The only way to around this is if you get elixirs or ethers. Ethers and elixirs will bring back cards regardless of this rule.
So you're saying,
But they also do not reload.
So you're saying if you have a deck of premiums and then reload, nothing happens.
You lose most of your stuff.
If you have all premiums,
stuff. If you have all premiums, you lose all of your stuff.
I think you have to use the card first. Honestly.
So using combos gets rid of the top card of the combo.
The first
That's why you
card.
don't want to. That's why you don't want to use nothing but slates unless you know you'll kill the boss that way.
And with certain,
Well, I mean, at that point, then the strategy becomes use slates, and after you've ran out of all of your cards from using slates, pop an elixir,
Yes.
and then just use slates.
Yes.
Congratulations, Brian. You just learned how to break the game.
Broken set up later is a time-stopping magic that freezes the target. It's a slate, or slide, or however the fuck you want to say it.
I'm going
It's a
to
time-
between them to piss people off.
It's a time stop magic. Target an enemy, stop time. But it uses up a card. However, it does a lot of damage. So the way people will break the
And like
game,
you see there, that was
target a boss, use it, freeze time, the boss will lock up, unfreeze. Target again, freeze
And
time.
there,
Eat through all your cards, use up a potion, get them back, just repeat until the boss dies. And this stops every boss in the game.
And then to like explain mechanics, there that was a good example of the number thing. He played a 9 card that was goofy because it was a 9 and the game had no zeros. They couldn't stop the goofy attack. And there's like the one cool mechanic of Chain of Memories that doesn't really get used a lot. What's basically, because this was originally a Game Boy Advance game, the contents of the room you go into depend on what cards you put in there. So you could put in, like, have it just be a treasure room where you don't fight any enemies. Or have it be, like, super high-leveled enemies.
I'm going to reiterate.
Or something.
This would have been a really cool game if this was a dungeon crawler, 2D, and the card system had a little more depth. Damn good game to be made right there. The fact that nobody went back and tried to make that is extremely disappointing. Because you could even go as far as to say, like right now, I just made a basic. This is basically the most basic room you get. Enemies are going to be here, but there's not going to be a whole bunch of them because the cards determine how many enemies you can run into
like
upon their behavior. Because the map cards can even control the enemy's behavior.
Like I said, you could create, like, super high-leveled enemies. Or, like, super aggressive or stuff. Or enemies that are rock stupid. It had potential for good ideas, but it doesn't really use them.
That was a potion. Potions only bring back, weapon cards.
They don't heal you?
No.
What the hell heals you, then?
Cure.
Remedies. Cure.
Oh.
Cure heals.
The mechanic.
So you have
potion
magic.
reloads my cards.
You have magic. Potions and elixirs reload cards. And we have weapon cards. And we have level up here, which, you know, allows you to learn different sleights of hand. Or increase your CP, which is your capacity of which you can hold cards in your deck.
Correct.
Or your HP. So another thing that I'm shaky on how it works. How do enemy cards work?
What do you mean? Oh, enemy cards? Wait until I get some and we'll go over that.
It varies from enemy to enemy.
Yeah,
You mean the enemy?
Because that was also another thing that when I was playing the game, I didn't really understand
how.
how.
I will tell you this much right now. This is all I can tell you right now because it's all I got for you without having any. But enemy cards have very good uses, and in fact, there are a few that I will be using because they're just really good cards to have. I don't know if I want to use the word broken, but
and
they're pretty useful.
And one other point of note, the enemies you fight do not have a deck.
Enemies
No, enemies do not have a deck. Although, interesting fact, is that in the original Chain of Memories, bosses did.
Not that it really mattered because
It
they had to.
does. Well, no, their amount of cards do not matter, but it does matter because it made some bosses actually really easy to fight. For instance, the final boss, because of the way he worked originally, was very exploitable. Because if you broke his cards, he would stop moving. He would reset, which means you could hit him.
Well, I mean, essentially, if you have a deck full of nothing but 9s, nobody can do anything to you until you pop out a 0.
But you'll have less cards. Because if you did that, you would have your 9s cost more to put in your deck.
Correct. So I mean, at that point, it's just a matter of if you can get enough CP to make it where that's broke.
Right. Something else we mentioned. This wasn't a problem in the original, but in this version particularly, you have a cap. Your health caps at a certain point, and your CP caps at another point. But because of the numbers, you cannot have all your slates and have max HP and CP. My recommendation to anybody playing this game is that they should not prioritize HP over CP.
Yeah.
You're saying just basically go CP and damage for the most part.
Well, you don't do damage. That's Riku.
Well, then what does strength do?
There is no strength. There's slate.
Oh.
And slates. What's the condition? I believe the condition for, because you'll notice that slate was not available to me last time. Did everyone notice that?
Yeah.
Like last time I leveled up, I didn't have the option for slates. That's because you have to meet a requirement, and I can't remember if the requirement is your level.
Yeah.
It's either your level or if you have the cards to do the slate.
I
think you have to have the cards that make the slate possible.
I think.
And then once you have those, you can level up your slate.
And if you want to break this game, you want to focus till you get the ability to stop time, because all bosses and single targets and even some groups fall before your time stopping because its animation frames are long, nigh unbeatable, and exploitable to a point where I watch someone.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This game's not so hard. Really, the only slate that I really need is Sonic Rave.
But I just love the time stopping because it's.
Yeah, I mean it works. I couldn't get it to work like everybody else was, and I'm not really sure if I want to even try to put the effort in trying to figure it out. Because really, again, Sonic Rave is just is broken enough.
I've showed you the video.
I know, but Sonic Rave is broken enough. Like I don't need all that.
Blizzard.
Oh, one other point that is a good thing to note in the game. Donald, when he appears, he does a random effect of magic. Meaning if he hits a fire enemy with a fire spell, it'll just heal it.
What were the... I remember all those little, all the, like, little elemental enemies are named after different forms of music. What were the fire ones called?
So now, I didn't talk about this when we did it, but doors also require certain numbers of points. When it'll normally have something like this number and up. As long as it says this number up, this number down, well obviously this number down, but this number up, zeros can also enter those. So if it says 1 and up, any card you throw out will open that door.
Basically.
The only time zeros won't just work is sometimes we'll have doors that require... They have a number and it says equal.
Yeah.
There's also times where you will want cards of certain colors. Now you'll see cards with certain colors. Red cards affect our enemies. So this will make a lot of Heartless appear in a room. This will let This lowers the points on their cards, and this puts them all to sleep, which means we'll just ambush them all. Green cards affect... They do weird stuff.
You can
This
read.
one, yeah, it slows down it's more of the enemies in the air. I don't know. I feel like these are more your random cards. whereas-
Red or the direct effect of an enemy, green or random bonus effects to the room of different buffs and debuffs. Like the one green card said like your first strike is more powerful.
Right, it's more like your random effects. And then your blue cards are normally your treasure and save point type areas. So normally there won't be any enemies. Not always. There are some rooms that will have enemies.
Red or direct affecting the enemies.
In battle.
The green were just positive and negative effects on a number of different things is the way to explain it.
Yeah, because there's one that literally makes or in the original, it would make the room, that
Yep.
one that made the enemy slower, what it would do before is it would make the room really small
Mm-hmm.
and narrow, so you really have to go through a hallway.
Yes.
Which would actually do the exact opposite of what it does in this game, because you basically had to fight everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't avoid it. Donald, we had Pluto with us the whole time? No, Pluto vanished because he's a magic dog.
The battle system in the game is interesting.
It had
It's just-
potential, but they all wasted that potential.
Again, it's an okay game. I feel like part of the problem is that it's tied to Kingdom Hearts. I feel like the Kingdom Hearts mentality pushes away the card gameplay mechanic. I feel like if we had focused on that card game mechanic and the dungeon crawling that's almost present in the game, there'd have been a damn good game.
If this was just its own thing
I
and
feel
not
like-
tied to Kingdom Hearts,
Right, Kingdom Hearts
So you're saying
clashes
if
too much.
Square had made basically a Bravely Default with cards?
Not necessarily. Well, in the sense of it not being Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy, yes.
Hmm.
But no, if the ideas of this game had made their own game, it would be one thing. But the Kingdom Hearts mechanics fight it
Mhm.
because they don't really match. But I think there was a good game we made that no one ever capitalized on, and it's kind of sad.
It was just a weird thing so that they could have.
Good game to be made in these cards.
But yeah, I feel like we could have had more card types and more uses. Because later we'll get cards like summons and whatnot, and that's when we'll find my favorite combination.
And then we have the Riku story in this game. That's its own.
Yes. So when we beat this game, we'll get Riku mode. And Riku mode is very different, since Riku doesn't build decks.
You can't even change the placement of the cards. His decks are that set.
Correct?
But that also means that you can beat the floor
What's
with
funny-
all of them.
What's funny is that the Game Boy version sold it as a harder version of the game, when in reality Riku is probably the easier section.
Because
He gets instant deck refill with no limits. His decks are set, which means you have to deal with what they want you to deal with, which
But
is
that
why
means
it's
every
considered.
deck
Honest-
set has a strategy to it.
Well, yeah, and honestly, Riku probably is the better part of this game because it matches Kingdom Hearts a little better and less the card, but also uses the card mechanic.
And around the end of Riku's story, one of the decks he gets is just 9s and 0s.
No, it's actually like all the numbers.
No, his last deck is amazing. It's got a lot of 9s and 0s.
It does have a lot of 9s and 0s because it
But-
has like 6 9s at the front, and then it just starts counting down. It's like 6 9s, some 8s, some 7s, some 5s, a couple of 4s in there, and then some 0s.
And like 3 potions.
Yeah, and then like 3. No, that's like 3 elixirs.
I love that deck.
But Riku's thing is that Riku doesn't have cures.
But
The only way Riku, and we'll get to that point, but the only way Riku can heal at that point is that he has to use his ally card.
what the hell are you doing?
They're explaining the nuance of the mechanics.
See how it works?
Bigger numbers are better.
Why? I don't understand why he has to tell me this, since I would have experienced it by this point.
In case you were confused up
It's
until...
because
feel-
most
but I
of the
feel like-
animes
I
up
feel
until
like-
this point have thrown
So
out.
this is one of my problems with certain things like this in games. Why would I not be able to figure that out?
Well, it's because
I mean, obviously, when I see the numbers and how they're working, I should know how they're working.
well, it's because the game up until this point was basically
Sleight of
random.
hand, motherfucker!
Yeah, that's why now that we have slides, I'm going to cover something about slides. The way magic works in this game is you don't get higher leveled magic. The slides are the higher leveled magic. So if you get some fire cards together, you can get tier 3 fire magic at the beginning of the game. Yeah, it's just as broken as it sounds. That's the only good thing about this game, you can break it in half, and I love when you can just break an RPG in half.
It's a very interesting... But, again, the first card in the sleight is gone when you use that kind of trick. So, if you have 998, that first 9 will just be gone. Temporarily, it comes back after a battle.
It's only going for the battle.
So don't think, oh shit, I'm gonna lose.
You're gonna lose it forever. You don't lose any of the cards forever.
And they have
Proud roar.
examples as you get.
Roar. Wow, crush. Goofy smash. Goofy tornado.
You see?
Oh, I forgot they added Pluto.
Yeah.
Goofy tornado.
Ah, those will be important later.
Moogle points.
So, yeah,
If you find a Moogle, in case people get some slightly different setups, you can get a Moogle card. You use the Moogle points at a Moogle if you get cards that summon a Moogle in an area.
aren't Moogle points basically money for Moogle shops?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly as straightforward.
And, like, right now, we already kind of get into the first, problem with Chain of Memories, more so than the other Kingdom Hearts games because of its original basis on the Game Boy. It is repetitive as fuck. Even more so than the other games because, like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They weren't ready for that Simba.
That's
Chain of Memories, like, its problem is it is repetitive as fuck. Like, as you can see, the levels are very truncated and, well, you're not really exploring levels, you're exploring
Like I
chunks
said,
of them.
if you look at this game is like half a dungeon crawler.
a little bit.
The problem with being half a dungeon crawler is you're half a dungeon crawler.
There's a good half that's not here.
Right, and I think that actually hurts this game. But I also don't know how you would, like, try to implement that in a Kingdom Hearts style game.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what exactly?
Like, look at it. Like, you make your rooms. Like, if this was like a dungeon that you continue down, and you continue to make your
What you're
rooms
trying
and
to
areas.
say is that what if we were to make Chain of Memories a roguelike dungeon crawler game where you would go into the dungeon and basically there would be whoever or even infinite amount of floors and there would probably be some stock character sitting at the front of the dungeon that's like only those with the
Yeah.
Something like that.
Only those with the MacGuffin.
And basically you go into the dungeon and you have a deck of cards and your cards do things.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's stopping this card system from being more complex? One, probably one of the biggest things stopping this card system from being more complex than it is the mere fact that you lose cards when you do special abilities.
Honestly, I don't think that hurts it. I think that means you have to think about when you're using your special abilities.
That's
Which means it's actually trying to add a level of strategy to itself.
True.
Because, like I said, if you went
But that level of strategy is also overshadowed by the fact that all of your abilities have to have a purpose. And I'm pretty sure that we can all agree some sleights of hands have no purpose.
mm-hmm.
and while it's like
You're not wrong.
and while they handle it in very, very different ways, you see, this is why I like how Bot and Kaido's handle its card battle system. Like I said, they're very different. Literally, the only thing that's similar is they're both games that use cards. But I want to talk about that game because fucking no one else does.
Nobody played that game.
You know what game I want to talk about? I want to talk about good old Steamboat Chronicles.
One of these days, guys. One of these days.
Maybe we should stream that one.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah! Streaming some
But what if
Steamboat
someone?
Chronicles.
But what if someone shows up, donates hundreds of dollars to my Patreon, and says, "Hey guys, I'm only giving you this money because I want you to play Steamboat Chronicles."
It would cost hundreds for me to want to even think about playing that game.
Steamboat Chronicles.
If you want to see Steamboat Chronicles, maybe you need to give us some
Like and comment.
digital motivation, if you catch my drift.
Like and comment on this
Oh,
video if
Bitcoins.
you're interested in seeing Steamboat Chronicles playthrough.
Aren't bitcoins considered a real legal currency now?
Cryptocurrency.
It's a cryptocurrency. There are people that literally farm Bitcoin, and I don't know how that works, but that works. So basically, all you gotta do is farm Bitcoin, turn it into money.
Because their value dips, and a guy at one time when bitcoins were being banned and a lot of people weren't using them, and a guy had bought just a couple of bitcoins, the conversion rate he made off with over $100 billion or something ridiculous because of how their value fluctuates, and he crashed the economy and got in this big legal battle of not even being allowed to keep his money because he became one of the richest people on the planet all from having like 50 bitcoins, and they didn't like the economy of the bitcoins. And then we have, and I just want to bring up this controversy because Twitch allows this, and I believe they still allow this. There are these people on Twitch. They made up a cryptocurrency, and they do streams of trading their cryptocurrency, and they admitted on stream their cryptocurrency is worthless, and anyone who comes to this stream to trade this cryptocurrency is giving us money, and you're getting nothing in return, and we are stealing from you, and this is false advertising, and Twitch just lets these people do these cryptocurrency streams where they steal thousands of dollars a stream, and this is literally false advertising and breaking all the rules, but Twitch is just cool with these people stealing thousands of dollars a day. And
Well, that's pretty bad. But you want to know what's so bad about it? Is that people still do it. People still
that's true.
So you know, if I was to embrace my inner asshole, I'd probably say that Twitch was sitting there and they're like, well, you know, idiots want to do it. The idiots want to do it.
That's a fair point, because the people admitted it was a scam, and if you're giving us money, you're dumb, and people keep giving them money.
So it's technically not false advertising.
Apparently, Twitch will ban you if you show your bare feet on a webcam.
Can't be showing that feet, man.
That's a...
It's a fetish.
Apparently, if you're a dude, you're also allowed to be shirtless, but if you're at a certain fat threshold, your man boobs are deemed inappropriate, and apparently you'll get banned.
Well, of course, no one.
Can't be showing your man boobs.
Well,
on
of
stream.
course, who would want to look at a sweaty nerd guy's movies?
But if you show your feet, you're apparently immediately banned.
You must really not like Dan Snyder,
Like,
man.
what is complexity within the chain of memories combat system? Is complexity a combination of each card type?
Okay,
Or is complexity a world where basically you can have a class and your class is summoner, and so the majority of your deck is just simple?
I don't have an answer to the question you're asking. I just feel like the combat in this game has unexplored depth somewhere in it. I feel. Let me rephrase that. I feel like this combat system could be better.
Okay, guys. So my question of the day is, what would you guys do to give this game's combat system some extra variety and depth? Sean didn't really know how to answer Brian's question, so I thought maybe you guys could. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments below, or you can leave them on social media. All my social media links are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shell for a minute. If you liked my video, please hit the like button and leave some comments. If you're new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, please hit the subscription button and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please ring the bell next to the subscription button. That gives you the proper notifications of whenever I upload a new video. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. Doing all of these things really helps out the channel, and it really helps our communities grow. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.